Pochodzi z dalekiego kraju. Mógł wybrać Brazylię, ale wybrał Polskę z powodu pogody, miłych ludzi, a także bezpieczeństwa. W wolnym czasie gra z lokalnymi mieszkańcami w koszykówkę oraz spełnia swoje marzenie, uczy się pływać na Słowiance. Przed Wami Goat z Chin. Hi Goat.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad.
How is your life here in Gorzów?
Basically, I think everything was smooth and peaceful. So for me, it's good.
What places do you explore in Gorzów with your family?
To be honest, we almost spend the normal life in the apartment, especially at this moment. And in the past, if we have a summer holiday, we will go to some kind of seaside or some kind of lakeside. Yeah, seaside we have been in Gdańsk, and this lakeside is around Gorzów, like this Długi.
Długie.
Yeah, Długi.
Okay, cool.
Because my son like play with water.
Have you been to any big cities in Poland, like Warsaw, Krakow?
Yeah, for sure. Warszawa, and it's most popular because we need to change the passport. So we have been there.
Business for business.
Yeah, because we have the passport expired, so we need to make a renew exchange.
What can you tell about your city, the city that you were born in?
I was born in Sichuan province.
Okay.
I don't know if you know. It's almost the middle of China. Also, this center part of China. And the most different than Poland is the population. Even not in for the country, not only for the whole China. Even in my hometown, we have 0.1 billion the people. So it's a huge number. Every time when we go out for some kind of visit or go for shopping, so you can see everywhere is always people. This is a big difference here. Almost in the weekend when we go outside for shopping or for somewhere to play something, so we can see it's almost no people around, and only go for the shopping center we can see a lot of people do the shopping, but it's much less than China. So this is the big difference. So that's why I say at the beginning here is much smooth and peaceful. So and I enjoy such a feeling.
I call you Goat,
Yeah.
but your original name is?
Yeah, my Chinese name is Xiang.
Okay.
Yeah, Xiang. The meaning is fly. So like play basketball, we always sing a song. I believe I can fly. So this is Xiang. The meaning is not so popular for the foreign country, right? So no one knows what the meaning of Xiang. So that's why I will introduce myself as Goat, as some kind of English word. So it will be easy to understand and easy to remember for the foreign people.
Is it common for Chinese people to change their names? Just use the names, like to use nicknames?
To be honest, we can treat as a nickname, but actually it's we call English name. We have Chinese name with Chinese meaning. What's the meaning of each word? So if we are talk about this with the local Chinese people, we can understand each other what's the meaning of your name. Like I think every country will be the same. Like Ni Hao or some kind of Justina, always be some meaning of local people. So for the Chinese people, the Chinese name have some good meaning behind, but for the foreign people will be not understand. That's why we change it to English name, make us introduce. In China, for sure, everyone use Chinese name, and out of China, you want to introduce yourself, you need to let people easy to understand, to remember your name. So you need to get the meaning of the name. So that's why we will use the English name, like something like a goat, but maybe you also can get some very famous name like Michael Jackson, something like that.
Okay.
So it will be easy to make a communication. That's the point.
And you chose Goat because
someone was play the street basketball in USA, and the name is Goat.
Ah.
Yeah, so I just follow the name. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to copy the skill, but it didn't happen.
Still, you're practicing, so one day.
Yeah, I try.
What can you tell me about the Chinese celebrations?
Chinese celebration most famous, I think, is Chinese New Year. Every family will stay together and have a dinner like Christmas Eve. We have Chinese New Year Eve. So this is very important for the family, for the all members. So we need to spend almost 1-2 weeks to prepare for one dinner, and every people was enjoy and very happy to make it, especially for the kids, because at that moment they can get some kind of gifts, some kind of money. We call it lucky money or red.
Red bag, red like the color.
Yeah, red. And it means lucky for the next year, and also it means they can hold the age, so not grow so fast, not to be old so fast.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting things in China, especially for the kids.
And how do you celebrate the Chinese New Year here in Gorzów? Is it possible to celebrate it somehow?
Most of Chinese New Year we are working. Here we have a holiday for Christmas and for the New Year. Chinese New Year always be 1-2 months after the New Year. So at that moment we work normally. Or only after work when we back home. So we will also prepare very good dinner and to give this lucky money to the kids.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is basically the same, but for sure in China we can make a lot of firework and outside. Here is not at that time, and we only watching TV, some program from China,
okay.
And we spend
streaming.
Yeah, and we spend almost a few days to prepare the dinner, but for the people who is working, just work normally.
Why is Chinese so difficult? I mean, the language.
Yeah.
Because once you told me about the word, correct me if I'm wrong, 小马, which is a small pony, and 小马, you know, the sound.
Chinese, the letters, they are different system. They almost like a picture. Yeah, pictograph. They call the names pictograph. Right? So the picture like something, so we record like something. So it's like a painting, some picture, but for the English or some other countries, they always ABC. So this will be easy to organize. But for all the stuff we want to make a painting will be a different shape. So that's why we need to learn this Chinese correct from the shape. Each shape has each meaning, and different combination will be different meaning, and also one word can be different pronunciation, like you say the 小马, 小马. So this
So what does it mean? 小马?
小马, like you say, is pony.
And the other 小马?
小马就是is small or not, bigger or small. So the one pronunciation can be different meaning, different words, but one word also can be different pronunciation and different meaning. This is the different. I think the most different is the system. Yeah, we have a different construction of Chinese words and different idea for other language. So if we want to learn, for sure, only practice, always read, always write and listen. This is a basic rule for all the language, I think.
Can you teach us some Chinese words like thank you?
谢谢.
That's easy, 谢谢. And how to say welcome to the interview with Goat?
欢迎来到对 Goat 的采访.
That's really difficult and fast, you know? Not easy to repeat. China doesn't use social media like Facebook or WhatsApp or Viber. So what are the most popular sites for Chinese people? Social media.
We are using WeChat.
What's WeChat?
Almost the same like Facebook, like WhatsApp. The same function.
Generally, what do young Chinese people do on the internet?
Yeah, they can do a lot. I can say internet change the world and change all the life of each people in all the country, I think. And for Chinese young guy, they always play, right? Play the online game. This is very interesting for them, and they can spend even 8 hours for some crazy guy. So basically, they like play the online game first, and also make a shopping online. They have a lot of thousand kind of product which they are interested. They just buy, and also they like make the short video, like a video blog. They looking and they learning, and they also make some video and upload to the website or some kind of YouTube. Not so popular in China, but we have our own.
And now talking about sport, you talked about basketball.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is ping pong, table tennis, is it really popular in China?
Most people like ping pong, but they don't play. The people who is playing two kind of ages, let's say. One is young children. For example, class 1, 2, 3, they are not so strong, they are not so fast. So the ping pong will be easy to handle for them. Big request of skill. So how to change the angle, how to give a little stress, then you can get a very good result. So for the young people, they like, and they are interested to learn, to training, to practice. And also for who is retired, so they have time. So they want to play. Also, they are not so strong anymore, so they can play very easily. So these two age, they are the most popular. But anyhow, ping pong is a very big percentage of the Chinese people to play, and almost 10%.
Maybe ping pong.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I think that's
It's a
like football in Poland.
Yeah, 10% means 0.1 billion people.
In comparison to the population, like the general population,
Yeah, so
Chinese.
this is a huge number.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if we talk about young people, what is the common entertainment for young Chinese people?
As we talked before, they want to play.
Hanging out, so like with meeting friends, I don't know, going to the discos. Is it popular? Because that's, I think, the European culture. A lot of discos, a lot of pubs, a lot of bars.
So basically, one play, one shopping, and one study.
Okay.
So this
Everything connected with technology.
Yeah, and connected with the internet. This is what I say. Internet changed a lot.
Is it true that tea shows the social status in China? Or, for example, I heard that the longer the nail, the richer the person is. Is it true?
I heard something like this, but it's not so popular. Someone believes that if you leave your baby finger with longer nails, you can get more and more money. You can be rich and rich. But I think it's less than 1%.
Can we compare our nails? Definitely. I'm not that rich, okay? So in comparison to your...
But I forgot to cut. I spent time for prepare such an interview.
Sure. Let's talk about some exotic fruit, okay? You have durian, you have lychee, you have dragon fruit, you have goji. How do you use them in your cuisine?
To be honest, this fruits is not only from China. I think basically they should come from Asia. But we can buy from China market for sure. Only this lychee. Lychee is special fruits in China, and this goji. Goji is special. How to eat is very simple. Just peel off, then eat. Nothing special. We also can make some kind of juice. Goji is a special fruit. No one eat, but we just make a different product of goji, and the most popular is the goji you take and you dry. You make the dried goji. You can see from the market, a very small bag but very expensive. Then you dry first, then you put into water and like a tea.
Okay.
You make a tea, then you drink. This is one kind of tea, but it's quite good for your healthy.
I know that you care about your health and you use a lot of natural things to treat some illnesses.
Yeah.
How about some natural remedies that you can recommend, like typical Chinese remedies?
We have some kind of also the fairy tellers. They say that the one god is take care of medicine from the Chinese history, and he always tests all the different plants, the leaves, and the stalks. So he just test. He eat a lot, and one day he tried a lot of different plants. Then he was poisoned, so almost dying. Then he take out the tea, the green tea, and just test. He doesn't know the tea at that moment, and he just pass by the tea tree and take the green tea and also eat test. Then he was killed by tea. So means tea is a very healthy, a very good medicine. So that's why also we have very long story about the tea, how to drink tea, how to treat the tea as a friend of people, healthy. And this is one special thing and a very famous product of Chinese medicine.
How many cups of green tea do you drink a day to stay healthy?
I don't know what's the habit in the Europe. For us, one tea you give maybe a few grams of tea and you give the water. But when you drink up, you always put the new water. So one day you make the cycling of this tea. Depends how often you drink and how big a volume you drink. But you always keep this tea. You will not change one tea and the next time to renew.
But if you reuse the tea, it doesn't taste well.
Yeah, the taste it will be a little slight, but for me it's enough. Most people will just 1 cup of tea, but the water always refill.
Coming back to Poland, what do you like most about Polish culture?
I most like is everyone, even we are not know each other. Like we go to playground with the kids to play the sand, to play everything there, and we even don't know each other, but we will see Dzień dobry. So this feeling is very good for me. It means that the people was very friendly, and they are very polite. From this point, I can see that the local Polish people is very good, and I like most of this.
I heard your son speaking perfect Polish. He's a professional.
Yeah.
This is like a native Polish.
Yeah, he can always blah blah blah. I don't understand what they are talking, but I'm proud of him. He spent almost 1 year. He can catch the local kids level, and I spent almost 10 years and I can do nothing, only in Dzień dobry.
So does it mean that you want to stay in Poland forever with your family?
In Chinese culture, we always focus on the next generation. We always do everything for our kids. So it always depends on them. If they prefer to do something in Europe, so we will support. If they prefer to study in China, okay, we will also support. The most important is the whole family together. If they prefer something, so we just follow up. I think this is a little different idea than the local Polish people.
I hope that you are going to stay longer here, because you bring a very interesting culture to our city.
Yeah, I think a little different, but we can always think about more and try to make the comparison, and we try to make something better out of 2 different countries.
Yeah. The last exercise, the last question. Here is my magic ball, maybe Chinese. And could you please choose the question?
Oh, I thought it's sweet candy.
I'm sorry, it's not.
So Chinese people prefer the red color.
Okay, so if you prefer the red color, then name 2 cities or towns or villages close to Gorzów.
Oh, this I know. So, Zielona Góra.
Ooh, some people, some Speedway fans wouldn't be happy about that answer. Okay, so that's one.
And Szczecin.
Okay, cool. So you know the map of Poland. Okay. The
Yeah.
test is passed. Okay.
Okay.
It's A.
Dziękuję.
Proszę bardzo. Can you say goodbye to our viewers, please?
No problem.
In Chinese, of course.
再见，各位观众。
I my dziękujemy też naszym widzom i zapraszamy na kolejny odcinek z kolejnym bardzo interesującym gościem, który mieszka w Gorzowie. Dziękuję, do zobaczenia.